welcome to Rampage. This is now the third time I filmed this because the first time I wasn't sure what I wanted to say. The second time, my memory card that I'm using right now decided to say, I'm malfunctioning, cut me off right when I'm on a roll, and now we're here. Damn it. Okay, before we get started, you want to know if I know about Cody and Brandy and WWS. I know. I will address it at the end of this review. Now, I'm not going to be heavily detailed in this. I'm leaving some things vague because I want to see it develop first before I comment totally on everything. Okay? So, if you do have some questions about what I think about certain things that happen in the show, just leave a comment below and I will try to answer it as best as I can. But if it's something I want to wait off on, I'll say I'm waiting until I see at least another week or so of work. Particularly that Rampage is going to be at 7 o'clock Friday. I definitely want to know what's going to happen with the ratings when Rampage is near a prime time hour. 7 to 8 and 9 are near prime time hours. I want to see. Well, 8 is a prime time hour. 7 is like a little before prime time. And 9 is like the tail end of it. If I'm right, I could be wrong. But I want to see what the rating is going to be for a Rampage. Instead of at 10 to 11, it's a 7 to 8. I'm just saying. Now, let's make this very short. The CM Punk segment with MJF and now wanting to do a dog collar match was interesting. Now, the picture, and I believe I got a shot of it, is in my face. If that's real, that must really get the jollies off on an MJF. I'm just saying, look, that could be photoshopped. But the picture looks a little gnawed on, like it's a bit old. So if it's real, which it could be, that's gotta get MJF's rocks off. I'm sorry. The guy that he met back in the mid-2000s, early 2000s, possibly early to mid-2000s, a guy that he idolized, that he got a chance to meet, take a picture of, he's now in a program with him where it's going to be a dog collar match, which has been synonymous with Hammer Valentine and the Rowdy Roddy Piper. This is something that's got to get his rocks off. What he did at the end when he was called out, looked at CM Punk. CM Punk was ready for it because it's going to happen in Revolution, which is good. Seeing that he couldn't say anything, walked off, I think legitimately he was like, I can't stand this. This is so cool. And walks off. But he stays in character. That's one thing you can say about MJF. Maxwell, he truly loves the business to keep himself under composure. He had to go back in, I'm sure, didn't say nothing, and he had to be happy. He had to be. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, the best match for me was Lee Moriarty versus Bryan Danielson. It was a damn good match. And the reason it's so good wasn't just because of the ring work of both of them. It was because you got a heel who's not chicken shit, who can work his ass off in the ring and show how damn badass he is. And that is Bryan. He just works. Now, is he doing the greatest heel work of his career? No, he's alright. But it's not the point. Seeing someone actually do heel work is great when it's done correctly. And this is where it's done correctly. And I'm glad to see it. Now, he calls out Moxley because he gave him the offer. Join me. Let's make this place our bitch. Let's mold the next generation and cement our legacies. So, once Moxley came out, he did a little bit of story time. And he said simply, a long time ago, more than 10 years, and I've been in the business for 10 years, a little bit more, I met you. I remember the time when we were in a small place and it was like a house, and supposedly it was a house. He came in already dressed, ready to wrestle. He thought he knew what he was doing. He thought he was hot shit. He was angry. He went and had that match and he got his butt kicked. Then over the years they met again and again, and each time he got his butt kicked. I respect you, and it shows how hungry I became when I met the best wrestler there was. Now, your offer. I heard every word you said. That's what he said. I heard every word you said, and I couldn't find anything to knock it. If we both became allies, we will own this place. We will make an era of violence and pure destruction no one has ever seen. But then you also said something very interesting, that we could mold the future. With all these guys back there, I could have loved something like this, and we could mold them. And I couldn't find any fault in it except one. He doesn't say except one, but that's what I'm saying. That he said, you know what? This is kind of strange, because are you doing this because we could actually be great together and mold the future? Or are you doing this because you don't want to face me? Because when it comes down to it, if you don't want to face me, you're going to have one bad problem, because we will face each other. Because you're scared if this is true. You know in the last 3 years I've destroyed everybody. But that's if this is true. So I offer something to you. He doesn't say it directly. He says, I'll never really trust anybody until I plead with them. So he gave a counter offer to Bryan Danielson. You want me to join you? Because he didn't say yes and he didn't say no. He's pretty much saying, until I face you, I can't decide either way. So he just threw that out there, that I want a match with you. And that's when he'll probably decide to join or not join. My feelings on it, I'm going to leave it. Because I want to see when they're going to have this match. Is it going to be a Revolution, or is it going to be in the next couple of weeks? So I'm leaving it. Now, we got Keith Lee in his first video package. And I did hear one person who was highly disappointed. I can't remember who she was. But she was a female wrestler reviewer. I actually looked around to see more about what was going on, like when it came to Hog, if anyone else had done a review of it. And I didn't see anyone who did a review of Hog's own show, the one that I did. So I was looking around, and then I did a little bit of AEW checking, and then I came across a woman I did do that, and then I wanted to see how people reacted to Keith Lee. And then I came across some woman, I can't remember who she was. She seemed easily knows what she's talking about, but she sounded so disappointed it was Keith Lee and not Jeff Hardy. And I'm going like, really? Look, no one's saying every single time you're going to get what you want, but you can't say with Keith Lee it's bad. And from what I heard, she was totally disappointed. She may not hate Keith Lee, but she was totally disappointed in Tony dropping the ball again, which I don't think he did in this situation. It could have easily been Jeff. It can easily still be Jeff next. He could debut at Revolution, which I think would be the wisest thing. The Revolution pay-per-view, instead of just on a regular Rampage or regular Dynamite. Make it special. That's what I say. But I got to say this about Keith Lee's video. It was alright. But he made it very clear he wants a TNT title. Okay, this is going to be interesting. He's going after the mid-card title, the workhorse title, which is fine. He's not going to the main title yet. I'm glad he's not doing that. That's good. Hopefully they are going to book him that way. Let's move on. The next match will be the face of the Revolution ladder match, which had... Oh, that one was just destruction. Casper versus Wardlow. He was destroyed. Now, was the rap that was done before the match was good? Yeah, it was. I think I whacked my hand too hard. I thought it was really good. It was a good match. Well, I should take that back. It was a good destructive match because it didn't last that long. It wasn't too bad, but also the rap was good as well. I did enjoy it. In the end, Wardlow won. Then he got his butt kicked a little bit by the Acclaimed, and Shawn Spears was willing not to do anything, and then he whooped the ass of the Acclaimed and showed how badass he is. The question's going to be, what are they going to do? I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm moving on. Now, we had Hangman Page talking with Adam Cole. Now, they both knew each other for many years, and Adam Cole said, and he came to the ring as Adam Page was having his moment after what happened with Lance Archer, who again, like I said, is nothing because again, he loses. In a clinch, whether it's the TNT title or the heavyweight title, he loses in a clinch. He doesn't get anywhere. But Adam Cole comes out. He says, I'm not here to start nothing. I'm proud of you. I've known you a long time. We've known each other a decade. And he got a little jabs in, saying whenever they were in the same promotion, he was called the other Adam. And he made it very clear that if I was already here, I would have, before you, I would have had the title. He didn't say it like that, but that's what he was implying. And he made it very clear, look, I am not trying to start a fight with you, but I want to make this clear. Sooner or later, we will face each other for that title. And when that day comes, me and you are going to be standing side by side, one across from the other, and we will see who's the best wrestler. And with all respect, I will give you my best, and I will be proud to be the one who faces you. At least until one Fish and Kyle O'Reilly basically whooped his ass. And then the Dark Order comes out. And now you're going to probably do something with Dark Order, which you will, because Adam Cole will have a match with 10, I believe, this at 7 o'clock this Friday. Now, I won't go any further when it comes to that. Well, when they did not the interview, when they were talking, when I was with the Bucks, Kyle O'Reilly, Fish, and Adam Cole was in between. I'm not going to say anything more than that because they're still doing that. Adam Cole can't decide who he's going to be with. I'm not going to say who's going to be. Let's move on. Now, we got Chris Jericho and Hager versus Santana Ortiz. Now, here's the thing. What do we get in this match? What did we really accomplish in this match? Was it to put over Santana Ortiz? Was it to promote a possible and will be a match between Eddie and Chris? A little bit of both. Because Santana Ortiz have always said they have been held back by Chris. And pretty much everyone wants to see Eddie Kingston go up against Chris Jericho. And they cheered for him when he came out. He was cheered beyond recognition. He is so over. Like I said, at this point, sooner or later, he needs a title. He needs to win the TNT title. If he's allowed by the end of the year to win the title, it will go over heavily with the crowd. That's what I believe. But the match was fine. Santana Ortiz won. Eddie got kicked in the face by a Chris Jericho because he got onto the ring skirt. And now there's a possibility of a match. I'm not going to say who's going to win because I don't want to. I just want to see how it's going to develop. Will it be next week or the week after? I think it's this coming week on Dynamite. I could be wrong. We'll find out. Now, Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez in a no DQ match. Seeing Kill Bill being done by a Thunder Rosa. It was cool. Was the match bad? No. But here's the problem for me personally. You're trying to put over Mercedes Martinez. Using Thunder Rosa, who is heavily over, where everyone's expecting this final match between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa to happen soon, where Thunder Rosa must win the title. Britt doesn't need the title anymore. She has made the title way more than what it was. Britt hasn't been made by the title. Britt made the title now. She's that over. She doesn't need it at this point. So how are they going to book her dealing with Thunder Rosa? And now when it comes to Mercedes Martinez probably dealing with Jamie Hager, it's going to be a big question of how they make it look good without making it a cluster. I just don't know. Because I'm going to be honest here. I would rather see Mercedes Martinez in the main title picture against Britt Baker. Because she was brought in just like Wardlow was brought in by MJF. And I'm hoping they'll build her up into it. But that hope's been gone because now she's been attacked by, and he's in my face. I believe I got a shot of him. The guy who does Cobra Kai. I can't remember. Oh man, I forgot his name. But you know who he is. And I don't know if he's a wrestling fan. I don't know, they just brought him in. I don't give a damn. Cobra Kai is one of the most over shows that I've seen in years. I love it. I do. I've been watching it. I admit it. I haven't seen the next couple of episodes for this season because I've been really busy with animation. Actually, I'm kind of stuck at this moment, and it's pissing me off again. I finished another video, but then when I'm doing the next one, I'm stuck. It sucks. But you get my point. Seeing him is great, and he's telling Baker, who said to him, "So what am I supposed to do? You already know what you got to do. I told you. Finish her." That means both of them. So now what happens? It's going to probably be a tag match between... showing that... this is where it gets confusing. Like I said, a cluster. Because you're going to have Jamie Hager, who is giving problems with Britt Baker. You got Thunder Rosa, who really needs to face Britt Baker. And then you have Mercedes Martinez, who should have had a long-standing position with Britt Baker as her hired hand, but then would turn. And the problem is, they just nailed her now instead of building it up for the next couple of months, kind of like what happened with Warlow. No, they just ended it now, where she's now been attacked. So it feels like it's rushed, and I'm not sure how they're going to book it. Now, finally, the last match of the night, which is the TNT title of Sammy Guevara and the Darby Allin. A good match. It was good. The crowd was going crazy over both Allin and Sammy. They loved them both. I could feel the energy from the crowd. It was good. Now, it wasn't as good as Lee Moriarty and the Bryan Danielson, but this was good because of the story it told. Because these guys already got history. They had a little respect for each other. In the end, what did we get? We got a little bit of Jose coming in trying to distract. You got pretty much a Andrade El Idolo coming out, hitting a Darby Allin in the head with the tablet. Sammy nailing a Darby Allin, retaining his titles. Matt Hardy running out, beating the hell out of a Darby Allin. Sammy tries to help, then he gets nailed in the back by Andrade. Now, what does that mean? Does this mean you're going to have Sammy and Darby going up against Hardy and an El Idolo? That might be it. There's a lot in this show, and I know I'm missing even more than what I'm saying here. And I'm leaving it because not only I can't remember all of it, but next to that, there's a lot that needs to be developed first before I really want to say anything, because they gave us so much here. We need to see how it's going to be developed on Rampage at all and the next couple of Dynamites. I'm just saying. Now, this is what you've been waiting for. I don't know if I'm going to make this very long, but I am going to say generally what I think about what happened with Cody, Brandy, Tony Khan, and the WWE possibility signing him. Now, at first, when one of the subscribers, I can't remember the name, I hope you don't mind, I'm sorry, you know who you are, you're the one who said it other than anybody else. When I was told, I checked with JD, I checked with Just Alex, then I checked Solomon's thoughts on it, I checked on what Wrestling Inc. thought about. The Slug Daddy hasn't released anything. It's been like 13 or 14 days. He hasn't said anything on his channel. And I know eventually he's going to say something because he can't stand Cody. He hates his ass. Not only did it block him, he thinks he's got a big ego, that he's a piece of crap. So I know he's going to be doing something eventually. But what do I think? Remember when I told you guys that Cody Rhodes said a long time ago that he does not want to turn heel. He wants to retire as a face. And everyone, and at one point even me, said that sooner or later he will turn from face to heel. Now, when it comes down to it, the way I saw it is like this. From what I got from JD, who was reporting it a lot more clearly than just Alex did, because he didn't. Solomon did report it just as much as JD did, and Wrestling Inc. kind of glazed over most of it, didn't really cover it a lot. All three of those guys that were talking, they weren't really covering it that much. But this is my take on it. When it comes down to it, Cody believed he was like his father. Now, as I've said, I always believed Cody wanted to be a face like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Now, many people would say, why not be like his father? And in a sense, he is like his father, but he strived to be more like Ricky. Ricky was a different type of face compared to a face like a Dusty Rhodes. They're two different types of faces. Dusty Rhodes was a very charismatic type of face. But when it came to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, he was a straight shoot, clear-minded type of person. Now, Dusty was always really charismatic, liked to play around, but then when it's time to get serious, he gets serious. And then you got Ricky the Dragon, who was just straight, good guy, clean cut, and that's kind of like what Cody is. And that's what I think the type of direction was going. And the key of this is not about him wanting to just stay a face until he retired. It's the thing is that Dusty Rhodes booked his show. He did. AWA, I believe he was in AWA. He booked a majority of shows. Mid-Atlantic, when he was there, he booked a lot of the shows. And Cody believed that he could do the same thing as his father. He was hoping that if this is where it's going, Tony Khan would leave the reins of booking to him, the Bucks, and Kenny Omega. And he would just be the figurehead that did give input, but he would also just let them do it, particularly Cody, because Cody wanted to be exactly like his father, a clear owner, but more of a booker than anything else. Total creative control, and to help mold everyone, including himself. Now, when it comes down to, and if JD's correct, which it is, at one point months ago, you got Tony Khan taking total control of all aspects of creative away from the Bucks. Mostly, I think Kenny, because Kenny is supposed to still deal with the women. So I think he still has some control of trying to book the women. But generally speaking, the Bucks are no longer in creative. Cody is no longer in control of creative other than himself. And when it came to Kenny Omega, I think he's still in control of himself, as well as helping to book the women, counting on whenever he comes back, and he's a on-screen figure. So if that was the key of it, the reason Cody left was because he couldn't get what he wanted. He couldn't just book whoever he wanted to book. And next to CM Punk coming in, Bryan Danielson coming in, Adam Cole coming in, Bobby Fish coming in, and Kyle O'Reilly, and others like Keith Lee now, I think he was done. If he can't have his way to book the way he wanted, not just himself, but everybody else, it was time for him to go. That's what probably made him leave. Now, Brandy decided to go with him. As chief brand officer, look, Cody was getting $3 million a year. For the last 3 years, he got $9 million, not counting anything extra in merchandise, not counting on the big show, which is the show on TBS, I think TNT, that he's doing, and also Rose to the Top, which supposedly hasn't ended either. Either they've already recorded everything and it's going to be for the second season, or he's coming back to do more recordings. No matter what, Road to the Top and the big show is still in existence, and he's still getting paid from that next to any merchandise that he gets. And then his own wife, who maybe with her position, what does she get? Maybe $800K to maybe 1.1 mil a year. It depends on what type of job she's got. I doubt she's got a position as a wrestler and a chief brand officer. So she had two contracts legitimately. So altogether, maybe she was doing 1.1, 1.3 million a year for herself, along with her husband doing almost $3 million a year. They were making bucks. And the key of this, and I think this is what a lot of people are not going to get. And when it comes to just Alex, maybe when it comes to JD and Solomon's, anybody else, this is just my point, and they may not be seeing this. What Cody did, easily they all say generally ego. And I'm not disagreeing with them. This easily could be ego because he wanted to be just like his father. That's what Cody wanted to be. He didn't want to just be a wrestler that was a straight shooter like, in my perspective, a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, because he's not as charismatic as his father. His father was so charismatic. He could joke around. He can be incredibly serious. Cody just isn't like that. So the best option would be like a Ricky. But to be a booker, to be able to make the show go in the direction that you feel is important, that you, as someone who books as a creative, you're the one who makes the show the way it is. I think that's what he really wants. He wants to be someone who creates as much as he wrestles, at least as long as he can, with the slip disc in his back and the bulging slip disc in his lower back, I think, and the bulging disc in his neck, because that's what he has. That's what he wants. He wanted to keep control because he wanted to be like his father. Now, I'm not telling you that's right. I'm not. But it would make perfect sense if he goes back to WWE and he goes to NXT, because that is also being rumored that he may go to NXT 2.0. And if he goes to NXT 2.0, he may make a decision and a deal to be part of Creative there with Bruce. Now, there's no guarantee that Bruce Pritchard is going to let him have creative control at any aspects of 2.0 at all. I doubt it. But if he is going to be signed, one of the things he may want is that. Something that his father helped create with Triple H. The other one, that will be, and this is what a lot of people are saying, go onto the main roster and be booked like a boss. And possibly, if Triple H was healthy enough, because of the genetic problem he had with his heart. Supposedly he had a heart attack, but supposedly it was some type of genetic problem with his heart, which could have been a heart attack. He would love to have another match with Triple H if Triple H was physically capable. But this is the thing that everyone is agreeing about. What made AEW what it was wasn't just Tony Khan. It was the Bucks, Kenny, Chris, particularly, who really spearheaded with his huge amount of stock that he's gained because of who he is. But extra on top of that, who has been running around going to Impact Wrestling, NWA, who went over New Japan Pro Wrestling, just like the Bucks, just like Kenny, but marketed himself like crazy, Cody. Cody is considered one of this is hard to say. What will happen now that he may sign to WWE? I'm not going to tell you if he's signing or not. He may sign, he may not sign. The question's going to be this. What will the fans think? Because that's what this is really coming down to. This is all about it, because there's some people that say that when he gets in there, they're just going to fuck him over. And then he's going to be doing absolutely nothing back in catering. It doesn't matter if he does. That's what the point is here. It doesn't matter if he's booked like a boss. It doesn't matter if he's put in the back of catering. The point is, what are the fans going to consider about him? And if I'm right, at that point, knowing that he left AEW maybe because he was full of ego, or maybe he wasn't full of ego, maybe Tony Khan had the egos, maybe the Bucks have the egos. I'm not saying that they are. I'm making it clear. I'm not saying any of that. But with all this talked, excuse me, all that's been talked about in the last couple of days and probably next couple of weeks or months, they're going to make their own decision. That's the fans. And the key of this, no matter if he stays there for a year, 2 years, 6 months, or maybe a one-off at WrestleMania, because it could be a one-off like Stone Cold Steve Austin, because WWE is begging Stone Cold to come back, because they literally have nothing going for them this WrestleMania, because WrestleMania 39 is supposed to be The Rock. I'll be 52 years old, and The Rock will be 51 years old, because this year he's 50. There's no guarantee after 52 he'll even try to do it. So they got nothing going for them right now. They're hoping Stone Cold will come back. That's if he does. And if Cody comes in for a one-off as well, that will boost the WWE. It will piss off or make the fans outrageous. Well, It will make the fans either happy or hateful. But I can't tell you what is the right thing that's going to happen. In fact, I shouldn't even be doing this part of it anyway. I just gave you a basic idea of what Cody might be up to. And to be honest, I'm probably wrong. But this is just me. And I hope you enjoy this Dynamite. Please give me a comment below. If you have any more questions, just leave it below. I'm botching here because I really didn't want to make this about Cody right now because I really wanted to leave it. But I know people can ask me. So I hope you enjoy this. Peace.